stars, welcome back. We're Sunil and Pia. If you haven't seen our latest short video, we have watched RRR in a theatre where there was no one.
We did not buy the whole theatre out, which someone asked us.
No, we didn't buy all the tickets. It was just empty because this cinema doesn't really show Indian or Telugu films.
Yeah, it doesn't show them very often, and we also went in the middle of the day, so...
Yeah, we're gonna do a review in this video. Maybe no spoilers in the beginning, and then we'll give you a spoiler warning, and then do a spoiler talk. To start with, I guess, the performances of NTR and Ram Charan Tej, they were amazing. I think they stand out. They have the most screen time. Yes,
and I have to say especially NTR's acting was phenomenal. There is this particular scene where NTR actually made me cry. You've already seen me cry.
I had tears
You
as well.
did. Like, it was so powerful. And of course Ram's acting was also incredible, and spoiler-free, their interaction throughout the film, how they interacted with each other, was also really brilliant. They have great chemistry on camera.
As you all know, it's about friendship, so they both are really good friends. This is clear from the trailer. Talking about the trailer...
But they're also competitors, which is also clear in the trailer.
Yeah, it is sort of.
Yeah.
The trailer sells the film perfectly.
Yeah.
Whatever's shown in the trailer is in the film.
But it doesn't reveal too much.
Yeah, it doesn't reveal what the story is.
You kind of get a... I mean, we have seen so many teasers and trailers and the fire and the water, and I mean, it really encapsulates the characters well, but when you watch it and you see how it's guiding you, you suddenly put all the puzzle pieces together and it reveals something completely different.
Yeah, you have some surprises in the film. We have some twists, not twists, but surprises. So the film has that element as well.
And further character depth going into their background and what happened to them, what led them to be in this moment in time, which I think is so important to delve into that.
Yeah, as you all know, they both depict the freedom fighters, Komaram Bhim and Alluri Sita Ramaraju. Pia thinks it's Lord Ram, but I think...
Really looked like... Yeah.
He is Alluri Sita Ramaraju as well. Yeah. Let us know what you think.
One thing I want to give a warning about is it's not so much... I mean, there is violence in the film, but just the cruelty that is shown, you know, by the British. I've never seen anything like it, and it was fantastic to see that actually depicted by an Indian director, you know, an Indian film crew for an Indian audience, because... I think it's so important that is shown, and it's shown on such a big budget scale. This is such a brilliant movie. I am going to recommend this to all my friends who aren't Indian as well. I think it's really important for these stories to be told, because in the Western films I've seen, like let's say Gandhi, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's from a Western perspective of like, let's acknowledge, from the English perspective, let's acknowledge that we did these things, but also sort of justify it and sort of smooth it over a little bit.
Yeah.
But this like really shows what happened.
Yeah.
How Indian people were treated
for torture,
leading up to independence.
Were tricked, took over and tortured.
Yeah. I wanted to warn you that it's going to really affect you. You know, it's hard to watch.
It is sensitive, which is why we cried, I guess. Talking about the direction, I thought Rajamouli, as usual, did a fantastic job. Oh, the direction is just amazing. The story just flows one after another. Love the sets.
And the costuming.
Great sets, costuming.
Like, it really sets you in the historical period. You don't feel that breaking. All the costumes and the set design, it's incredible, really.
Yeah. Cinematography as well.
Yes.
Effects.
Yeah. I actually think I like this more than Bahubali. I don't know if that's a sin to say that, but I just think they're both incredible, epic, like unbelievable films. But this just gave me something else, especially with that political edge and, you know, how much effort and thought was put into every single detail.
Probably also because this is a freedom fight film and you love history. So.
Yes, I love history, and I love sort of having that political movement behind a film as well. Actually having a message in a film is incredible.
Yeah, I thought Bahubali is like a different film, and I love that, and I also love this.
Yeah, they are different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They're both different.
They're really different films, but I can't help compare them because it's the same director. You know what I mean?
You like this topic, the premise of this film more.
And I think by saying that, you know, it would be so hard, like, creating the Bahubali film. Like, how am I going to top that? And I really feel like he has. He's created something different, completely different, but still like brilliant and epic. Like if I could pick one word for this film, it would be epic.
Yeah.
Everything about it. There was this scene, how do we explain it? Okay, it's like nighttime and there's some sort of attack, and like some people are like jumping out of a truck. You know what I'm talking about? I remember us sitting there being like, what? Like, I remember us just being absolutely in awe.
Shocked.
It was just the CGI. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was a big shock and also a surprise. That's one of the highlights of the film for me too.
Yeah.
Some people might think there is over-the-top action, especially when Ram Charan and NTR fights these other people, the villains.
If you think about the motorcycle argument that happened all over the YouTube comments.
Yeah, everyone
that's what we mean.
Everyone was saying, oh, it's not scientifically possible
for NTR to hold that bike. And some people were saying that it was. Please don't reignite that.
Yeah, please don't reignite that. I think this is just a perspective of the director. That's how the director views these characters. He views the freedom fighters as superheroes, hence he wants to show them as actual physical superheroes by giving them all these over-the-top action scenes. So I think it's justified, and it's also catered for the Indian or Telugu audience, and that's just the film genre. There has to be over-the-top action scenes. I don't know if you guys agree with me. You can let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, by saying that they're superheroes, it's an extra level of respect and admiration for these people who created India as an independent country.
That's how the filmmakers views them as.
Yeah. From our perspective, perhaps because we are living in Australia, and we watch a lot of Western films as well as Indian films, some of it was quite over the top and sort of pushed your limit of reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what Sunny was talking about. I think for Telugu audiences, they want that big finale.
Yeah, epic.
And that
needs to be
epicness,
epic.
and like they want to really celebrate not just the film but the actors as well. I think that's so important.
And the characters.
Yes, to kind of create these heroic scenes.
Yeah.
So that was something that was a bit different for us, but something we can still understand.
So yeah, I think that's enough. No spoilers. We really want to talk spoilers. So I was like, oh, can we please talk about this?
And also some constructive sort of thoughts that we had on the film.
Yeah.
But that delves deeper into the scene. So we're going to leave that for the spoiler talk.
Yes. So if you haven't watched the film, this is where you end the video and go watch the film. Come back to the video so that you can watch the video fully. That's your spoiler warning. And let's talk spoilers.
Okay.
Oh my god, that first scene. That was so intense. Though, I mean, it was scary. It was it made me so scared when that British guy kicks or gets this person to hit that woman, tribal woman. That was so scary.
And they went into the brutality, it didn't focus as much on the East India Company, I guess. It was more on the British Raj. But just that violence and that theme of, an Indian life is not even worth a bullet.
Oh.
That was mentioned again and again because I think that small sort of anecdote that Scott keeps saying shows the absolute injustice of what happened in India and how Indian people weren't even seen as human.
Yeah, the dialogues or the lines are definitely are intended to make your blood boil.
Yeah.
You do feel like that, and you're like, what? He's such a bad guy, I want him to die and all that.
But that was the guy who played Scott. That was his acting. He really did a great job as a villain.
Great acting.
I thought he was a great actor.
Scott.
But I did feel that the wife sort of let it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, she was evil, but some of her lines, it just seemed like...
They were over the top and too vicious for reality. Again, if we're talking about reality versus film, that's where the argument happens.
And I didn't feel the passion or I didn't feel like she really meant it, that she really was mean.
Yeah.
And I felt that from Scott. And so I don't know if that was like a casting issue.
Probably.
But I just felt like the character of Scott outshone her so much.
Yes. And then after that scene, the Ram Charan introduction scene, that was intense as well. I was so scared. I felt like it was a horror film at one point was like he was going through all these people, pushing them away. I was worried that the actor actually did this scene and didn't get crushed, you know?
Yeah, well, we saw it on the big screen and it's so intense.
It's very intense. That first scene was like, just set the mark. Okay, this is how the film's gonna be. It's epic.
And I did feel they really tricked you into thinking like, why is this Indian man working so hard for the British Raj?
Yeah.
And I could see, which they tricked me, was he wants the respect and the admiration of British people. And he wants to be seen as equal to them, if not more. And why shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't Indian people be just as, you know, in line with British people? And so I was like, cool, that makes sense. That's a reason. And then they reveal... Yeah. But they really did trick me, because if that question was left unanswered, I would have thought there's something going on here, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It was a really good twist.
Yes, it was. Despite all that effort that Ram Charan's character has put into, you know, capturing that person,
still not
he was still not recognized and given the special officer. Like, that shows how much discrimination there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that organization.
And xenophobia as well, like to be scared of someone else because they're different from you, and you fear what they can achieve if they're given the same respect as you are.
Yeah. Then comes NTR's introduction. That was epic as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it just matches the level of the introduction of Ram Charan, and even more, like, he fights the tiger and runs. I love the way how they showed he was respectful to the tiger.
Yes.
Even when he was fighting the tiger, you know, I need to use you. I thought they were just eating the tiger because they didn't have any food in the jungle, but later it's revealed it's for a different purpose.
Yeah, and I remember when the tiger was revealed very shortly in a trailer, there were some people saying that the CGI wasn't as strong. I disagree with that. I thought the CGI was incredible.
Yeah.
That tiger scene, I was so tense, like, oh my God, it's going to catch him.
Yeah.
And that's because I felt like the tiger was real. There wasn't a disassociation where you could see it wasn't real. I think they did a fantastic job.
They did. I love that scene, how he apologizes to the tiger. Love it. Respect to director or whoever's responsible for that scene. And then NTR and Ram Charan become friends.
Yeah.
It was great.
I love that friendship song. The music in this.
Kiravani did a fantastic job.
For such a solemn theme, if they broke out into song constantly, it would take you away from the really important message that this film had. And they didn't do that. They really integrated music beautifully into the film, and I loved every single song. There is one fun song which was really awesome. Yeah, that was a great song and great dancing.
Yeah.
But the music really impressed me.
Yeah, the friendship song was great. It was heartwarming. I think Western world sees friendship between men differently. It's more intimate in India, friendship between men, so that's a bit different. You must have felt that was different.
Yeah, no, I did see that. Like,
yeah, they were holding hands, you know.
It's a bit, more intimate, like you said.
More intimate, and it was heartwarming to see that song and them becoming friends.
Yeah.
And Ram Charan wants to find NTR, but even if he's in front of him, he doesn't know that it's him that he needs. He ends up helping him to get into the palace or the building.
Yeah, accidentally.
That's when an NTR goes into the building, and through Olivia Morris. Again, Olivia Morris did a great job with her acting. NTR finds Malli and figures out a plan to get into the building. And just when Ram Charan finds out that NTR is the guy he needs to find, NTR is already inside, and that's when the animals come out.
That was the scene that really, that was incredible, all the animals coming out. Oh my God.
That was such a shock. I thought there would be a tiger. It was pretty obvious because they were taking meat inside and they were putting into a hole. Yeah. All the meat.
Well, they were using that meat to pretend that he was Muslim, I think. Yeah. But then they were feeding it to the tiger.
We thought because all these people are hiding, they need that meat. Hence, they are hiding the meat to use it later when they don't have any food to eat. But it was for the tiger.
Yeah.
and other animals. We thought it was for the tiger, and the tiger's gonna come out.
I didn't realize that there were going to be so many animals.
So many animals.
Oh my god, that scene was really, really intense.
Yeah, I know it's selfish of him to use the animals, but he knows that too. That's why he apologized to the animals, which is such a lovely thing to do. And kudos to the filmmakers for doing that. Ram Charan finally captures NTR.
And you're sitting there like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's when you start to think there must be a reason that he's so determined.
Love the way they filmed this.
Yeah.
Like, Ram Charan just manages to catch NTR from behind, you know. They showed these two as equal powers, fire and water.
Yes.
You know, sometimes he overpowers, sometimes he overpowers.
Well, even when they hold hands when they rescue the boy, then they show that, like, that's the handshake that they've been showing us in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense. And all the stunts were amazing. Like, the fight scenes and the scene with the horse and the bike jumping over the bridge. I mean, the stunts were so well done.
Definitely.
And, you know, especially leading into that scene, the attack on the palace. It was just brilliant. So brilliantly filmed and acted, and the CGI. I mean, that would have been a lot to orchestrate. I do feel that they suspended reality a little bit. I was like, NTR said to Ram, you know, you'll be healed by the morning from this snake bite, and he couldn't talk and he couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he turns up, he's in full uniform, and he like beats the crap out of NTR.
Yeah, there I think we are required to believe that this tribal medicine is so powerful.
Yes.
Which is used again later in the film.
Yeah.
The same thing that the tribal medicine. We are, I think, required to believe something that's not close to reality, but, you know, that's how it is. After NTR is captured, you can see that Ram is changing. And that song, when NTR gets beaten whipped. He gets whipped. And
that's when I cried, yeah.
And I cried after that a little bit.
That was just, I wanted to research, but I can't believe that the British did public floggings like that. I wanted to look it up whether they really did that.
Yeah, we didn't really do research about this.
But just to publicly flog someone like that, I mean, that's like medieval barbaric behavior.
It is barbaric, especially after that queen gives that whip with thorns on them.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was just, and it was the song. It was actually the song that made me cry.
Yeah,
and because if they had just had that scene without the music, I don't think it could have like got to me. But just not, you know, it was, the song represented how much pain Indian people went through for revolution in the country.
Yeah. Kirawani again. I think that's who made us cry.
Yeah.
And then Ram Charan decides to change and put NTR before his aim, his goal, because he can see NTR is the one that's actually empowering the people.
Yeah.
Guns will give them weapons, but it's actually the courage and the fearlessness that's coming out of NTR that's empowering them.
Well, it's interesting because NTR ends up realizing, oh, my mission was for a girl, but Ram's mission is for the whole country.
Yeah.
Whereas Ram thinks that, you know, my mission is for guns, and it's not what actually empowers the people. It's NTR's passion and love for people. So they both sort of think that the other's cause in the end is greater, but it creates an even more incredible bond and courage.
Yeah, I think that's when Ram Charan's flashback is revealed, how he is inspired by his father, Ajay Devgan's character, and what led him to have this kind of ambition to put guns in everyone's hands.
And what led him to be so cold and shut off as well, because he went through so much as a child. It really describes what his character is like, whereas NTR's character grew up as a tribal person with a lot of warmth and love. You can see why he's so passionate and why Ram's character is so stern and cold.
Yeah, and it's actual sacrifice.
Yeah.
That he is hurting his own people. He's been sacrificing all along to achieve his goal.
Yeah.
We thought Sita, Alia Bhatt's character, didn't have much role in this film until she meets NTR and reveals everything about him. Yeah. So, that's where she comes.
Yes, yes.
And then we understand, I think NTR decides to go save Ram Charan after that.
Yeah.
Again, the tribal medicine is used.
For me, it sort of broke my connection with the film a little bit, this scene, because Ram can't even lift himself up in that cage enough to be able to rest on his foot. He has to be carried by NTR's character, and then he puts some medicine on his knee and he can jump and run and fight.
Flip.
And I just thought, I don't know, maybe if they'd like had something where they rested in the forest for a couple of days. I just thought it seemed like his leg was broken and then he was just magically healed. And I think that's what Sunny was saying about how the director being like, these men are superheroes.
Yeah.
And they're our heroes. They achieved independence for us. So I do see the thought behind it, but it just sort of stretched my reality a little bit too far.
I felt like the whole knee thing was not necessary. They could have shown that his knees were alright. He's just beaten too badly, very badly, and that NTR rescues him and then they fight out of the prison.
And he had also been fed once a week for months, and yet he was so strong and not at all weak.
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a stretch. And then the action scene happens in the end. That was epic. It was epic how they revealed Ram Charan's character. Loved his dress. I felt like he was Alluri Sitaramaraju, although he also looks like Ram. What do you think? Because I think Alluri Sitaramaraju, that's his attire.
Right. Well, I just saw that, you know, they had the statue of Ram.
Because Komaram Bhim is a hero, I thought they would get Ram Charan to play Alluri Sitaramaraju. So I thought that was him. You can tell us what you think.
That final scene, the stunts, the explosions, I mean, all of it was amazing. But for me, I felt like it was a bit of fan service for the actual actors.
Yeah.
Which for me, like...
And also the characters, sorry.
Yeah, but that's not really how I watch a film. And I guess I've been brought up with different sort of cinema. So it felt like it was this really, really epic scene, but it sort of broke away from the rest of the movie for me.
Yeah.
But I know why they do that, and I know that that's a big part of Indian cinema. It's just different from what, you know, how I connect with cinema.
Despite these over-the-top action sequences towards the end, I felt like Alluri Sitaramaraju and Komaram Bhim fighting Britishers, you know, taking them down was pretty cool.
I loved that.
that's probably why it was over the top, you know.
They killed so many, like, British soldiers.
Yeah, Bhim was lifting the bike and, you know, hitting everyone. That was so cool. And I loved how Ram Charan was doing flips and rotations and, you know...
And the big jumps with the bow. I mean, it was really cool.
It was pretty cool.
It was a very well done final action scene.
Yeah.
It was absolutely epic.
And then Ram Charan and NTR gets back with all their family and friends and lovers. So.
After defeating... That was very smart that they had... Ram at the barracks, because the barracks is always going to have weapons and explosions hidden in there.
I forgot.
So I thought that was really clever how they did that.
But you felt like Scott's wife...
Well, I don't know why she was there. I mean, it didn't really make sense that she would be at an army barracks. It just felt like it was just too coincidental.
Yeah, but it's out of character for a lady.
Yeah, but I did feel that her death was... I remember just sitting there going, wow. Like how they depicted her death. And then the death of Scott, like, sprayed blood on that ridiculous saying, the sun never sets on the British Empire. You know what I mean? Like, that was just the most ridiculous saying. It was so egotistical. And they were just like, there's some Scott's blood on that. That was I reckon that was one of the most powerful things that I saw in this film. The wife's death and then that blood on that ridiculous saying. I mean, that's quite a message.
Yeah. Obviously, it would have made all the Indians and the Indian supporters happy, you know, seeing them being killed.
Yeah.
Well, taken down.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people, like, just very quickly, my mum and dad are from a lot of different places, but part of my Irish ancestry, they actually came to Australia in the 19th century because of persecution by the British.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, the Irish people went through different things from what the Indian people went through, but I definitely relate to that.
So we both have something against the British. Especially the British from that age.
Yeah, absolutely. So they did reunite with their family and they received weapons, and I thought that was really fantastic and happy. but it actually left me a little sad because I know this film was set in the 1920s and Indians did not receive independence for another 15 years.
27 years.
It was 1947, right?
Yeah, 20 to 47, 27, around 25 years.
And what makes me really angry, honestly, is that the only reason the British gave up India was because they were just so destroyed by World War II.
Yeah.
And even they took as much, like I remember us going to Agra and they literally burnt, there was burn marks as they burnt off the gold from the Indian palaces to fund the war. And so when I see them all rising up with their guns, it's like, that's fantastic, but they're probably all gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, it's the 20s. I mean, the British were still, they just recovered from World War One. There was a huge boom. The Depression didn't hit until 1929. There's no way, I mean, maybe they kept fighting for another 15 years, but it honestly made me a bit sad because I don't actually see this revolutionary, I mean, I guess the point they're making is that maybe they're saying that these people were an instigator that, you know, that ricocheted into the revolutionary movement that eventually created independence in 47, which is so important.
Yeah.
But that's just something I saw historically, which is also something I saw in the beautiful character of Jenny. I loved Jenny. She was such a kind-hearted person.
Yeah.
I loved how she helped NTR and Ram. But in real life, they wouldn't even been let into the party.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, there's no way they would have been able to step inside those doors. Their friendship could have never ever occurred in real life. If they were seen out together publicly, if he was seen in her car or she was seen on his bike, her whole reputation would have been destroyed and he would have probably been arrested.
Yeah, but it was nice to see all these things happen in the film.
It was lovely to see it in the film.
Yeah.
But it pulled at my heart because I thought, that just couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That just wouldn't have happened.
It just wouldn't have happened in real life.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's really great to see the character of an English person, you know, helping them behind the scenes and ensuring that...
It was nice to see that.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a great experience, this film, watching in a cinema, especially with no one else. You know, we had the whole cinema for ourselves.
I'm so glad I brought my earplugs.
Yeah.
I wore earplugs in the cinema.
Audio was so loud. Is that intentional?
Is that what you've experienced as well? Like when the film started, I don't think I could have sat through the film. It was so loud. And
maybe the cinema, because there's no one else, maybe it was all directed towards us. I don't know if that's how physics work.
Yeah, but I did find the sound really intense. I'm glad I had my earplugs.
I got used to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I just forgot how Indian cinema experience is like, and I just had to remember subconsciously, and then I was alright with it. Great film, great performances, great action, great direction, cinematography, music.
There's been such hype about this film, like, oh my god, so much hype, especially when, unfortunately, because of COVID, they couldn't release the film when they wanted to. We almost booked our tickets and we're like, why can't we book them?
Yeah.
And to see a film like this live up to that hype, I really think that it does. It is a fantastic film. It's one of my favorite Indian films I've seen. You know, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, Tamil, like this is one of my favorites ever. I think it will live down in history as, you know, an epic film. I hope that it does, you know, well, because they would have had such a big budget for
obviously
this.
It will definitely do well, because everybody in India would want to watch it. Yeah. Because it's high budget and it's from the director who directed Bahubali, which is second most grossing Indian film. Yeah,
but I think that this, you know, really lives up to the expectations. I really respected how they went into character depth. There was nothing that didn't make sense, and they really seated you in the reality of that time through the cinematography, the acting, the script, everything. And then they had these amazing sets. These amazing, you know, fight scenes and stunts. I mean, it was so well-rounded. Yeah. The music was phenomenal. I left that film feeling like, you know, it was amazing.
It was a great experience. We were really happy. We did some videos afterwards while coming home, you know, from short videos just to upload them on YouTube.
And it also creates an incredible discussion about what India went through before independence and what the Indian people went through. And they really showed that brutality.
I hope they make more freedom actual story. I mean, freedom films based on actual story.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of great stories,
Absolutely.
real life, real stories.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed our reaction, and if you have already watched the film, let us know what you think of this film, and anything else you want to tell us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll really support us. I can't tell you enough, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye guys.